on everyone because I just know them personally when they're in my class.
Sorry.
So welcome to the Beyond Film School.
Woo!
I want to say thank you to everyone that did this challenge. All the teams, you participated, and you just, first of all, they went through a sign up. They went through many Zoom calls to help me flesh out this idea. And then there was a whole application that they did a video to talk about themselves, which was probably the hardest thing for a lot of people to do in their application. So I know that was very, very tough, but you went through the whole process, and you should just be proud of that in itself for applying and then getting the teams together and working with people you never worked with before. And I think that is really a testament to your effort in all this, the professionalism, the collaboration that went through this, and just a special thank you to my team leaders, Team Rob Tierney, Darren couldn't be here, and neither could Atan, unfortunately, but I'm really, really grateful for them because I remember when I approached them with this idea, and they're like, I think so, Amber, this could work, and I'm like, all right, they just went for this wild ride with me, and they saw it through to the end with me, so without my team leaders, this would not be possible, so I just want to give a real big thank you to my team leaders. So. Team Rob. Team Rob's in the house, right? Team Rob. Team Darren. Where are we at? They got real lucky with a silent film, by the way. Team Alana is back here. Okay, Team Atan. You guys gotta show up. Okay, so just to explain the film challenge a little bit, so most of you guys are familiar because you were a part of it, but the challenge being shoot, edit a movie in 10 days. Now, you used only your own resources. No money was involved whatsoever, which was very, very hard. When I told everyone that one little thing where it's no money can be spent, everyone kind of looked at me like this, was like, are you kidding me, Amber? How's this going to work? So you guys really pooled your resources and really pulled it together really nicely. And $250 went to each team, just for food and kind of paying for lunch and just crafty and making sure that you guys had enough just to sustain your cruise enough. So I at least gave you that. You weren't allowed to spend any money. So to the producers, thank you for being under budget. Just saying, because good job for that. It's a real thing, coming under budget. Ebony, I think, saved the most money over here.
Yeah, about 50.
She's like $50.25, by the way. So no money, making it all in 10 days, and then part of this whole experience with screening it is going to be a whole other element of learning about what this is all kind of teaching everyone, right? Because working together, doing prep, writing it, trying to give critiques, and then shooting it together with a team you just don't know, you've met for the first time, and now getting to see it on screen in an audience, and also have someone say, hey, this worked, this didn't work. So how this is going to work, we're going to have our lovely three judges. Thank you for joining me, our judges. I want to introduce them to you. So we're going to start with Amber Lee. She is a producer, she's a director. I'm pretty sure she does everything, basically. She came highly recommended from Lightbulb Rentals, and who was also a sponsor. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But she's also, you're the owner of Evil Twin Cinemas company, which is amazing in Brooklyn. And there's something on her website that I just love. Her contact me at the bottom of her website says, contact us just to make some stuff. And I feel like that, I love that because that's really what I kind of strive for with Beyond Film Schools. I just want to bring everyone together just to make something, to get you guys that experience. So give it up for Amber Lee for being here. Now, I picked some judges that hopefully none of you knew, but with our next judge here, it's kind of impossible because he basically knows everybody, and if you don't know who he is, he somehow knows you or knows a person that knows you. So Rob Howard is also with us. For some reason, he just knows literally everyone in production. I just don't know how he does it. I have no idea. He's worked in 11 different states. I've only got 4 under my belt. Okay, I don't know how many states you got under your belt, but I only have 4. He has 11. He's a producer, he's an actor, and he's got his hands wet in film and also in theater. So I'll give it for Rob. I remember working with him for the first time. I remember it just being I was working with my brother or something. He's so down to earth. He's a really great guy, and I think he's seen every single film known to man. Okay, he's seen just about everything, so he'll know what move you're trying to pay
He's a noted film historian.
Yeah, right. Like he really is. Like he's a really good reviewer, and like he'll know if you're trying to pay homage to something in your film. So Rick is joining us. Thank you so much for our judges. All this really wouldn't be possible without our donors. So people who donate to this film challenge, thank you so much. I raised over $2,000 in like under 2 weeks, and I think all of you guys sharing it and emailing and all that stuff. Our sponsors, Lightbulb Rentals, they were so kind and they were just so gracious and giving 3 lights to each team. Not all of them used them, but the people who did use them, it came in clutch. Because when you have no lights, and then you get 3 lights, you're like, oh, production quality just goes up immensely. So Lightbulb Rentals, thank you so much to them. And the winner of Best Film is going to get $250 to spend at Lightbulb Rentals for their next movie. So let's thank Lightbulb Rentals for that. Here, but we're also live streaming in the back there. So shout out to everyone who was watching the stream, and this is possible by Daniel Scarpati, Passing Planes Productions, and he's also an author if you don't know. So he has his own company, he's wrote a book, and he's definitely a true author, has books on him. So if you have not read his book, I definitely highly recommend it. I love his book so much. So thank you so much, Dan, for being here, making this live stream possible. Here, how this is all going to work. You guys are like, yes, these are like nice, I want to hold one. So our judges are here, and they are going to score each film, which sounds funny when you think about it, scoring each film. 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. We're going to tally up each category, then that person will win that category, and then at the end we'll tally up all the scores collectively, and then that'll be best film. Okay? Numerical system, trying to make it as fair as possible. If there is a tie, I've already scored every film. I've watched them, so if it needs to be a tiebreaker, I have my sheets back there. They are already filled out. Rob can attest to this, that they're already filled out. I did not do it on the day, like right now. So if there's a tiebreaker, I have my sheet to show, who's going to be the winner of whatever category or best film. So, I know you guys want to see this first film. The first film is going to be Ebony's team, Beneath the Surface. She's like, oh God! Also, just before we jump into the film, so after each film, we're going to get a couple of minutes for them to do their scores, and then we'll get, constructive feedback here, like what worked, what didn't work, or we'll stay on the positive end. Of course, we'll stay more positive. I'm worried about Rick. He's going to tear people apart. I don't know.
Oh no, I went to film school. I've seen his work.
So we're going to give them a minute, and then I'm going to go, we're going to tally all those up, and then Rob will run the moderator, be the moderator for, gauges some questions, and we'll have time for 1 or 2 after each film, okay? All right, we're going to get ready for Beneath the Surface by Team Alano.
The lights are over there, right? Amber's gonna grab the lights.
Hey. Hey, how's it going?
It's okay. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's good seeing you.
Yeah.
Sweet. What? You doing anything today?
No. I'm just going out for a run, but it can wait a while.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We can walk for a bit if you want. It's nice seeing you again.
So how are your parents doing?
Mom's okay.
No.
Dad's sick.
I'm so sorry. For how long?
About a year and a half.
Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't want it to be the first thing you heard from me. It feels wrong. Not like that at all. Just, it hasn't been news to anybody in a long time.
I feel so bad.
It's not your fault.
It kinda is. Why did you never reach out?
Would you believe me if I said I was busy?
For 8 years?
I texted you on your birthday.
That was 7 years ago.
That's less than 8.
I texted you that year too. That doesn't count though.
This feels wrong. Like, something's off, right?
Maybe it was that weird handshake that you did.
I wasn't sure what to do.
So you did that?
I was worried this was gonna happen.
I wanted to ignore you.
Same here.
I thought you hated me.
Because we stopped talking?
Yeah, and don't say it like that. It's a pretty dumb thing to worry about.
Yeah. You think for better or for worse, we would grow up into adulthood, falling out over nothing, right?
Probably worse. It's like high school stuff. It should have been.
Yeah. I got stuff to do.
So do I. I must go for a run.
Yeah. I get you. You going now? Okay. Oh. No. I'll see you soon.
big one. Now it doesn't come down, but you can't adjust it on your laptop.
No.
It's fine.
No.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the genre?
So one thing I forgot to mention is that conquering fear was the theme of the challenge, so all the films had to incorporate that theme. I'm not sure if the judges knew that or not. And also the other elements that were required was a handshake and an establishing shot. So I just want to make sure we all knew that that was what was going down. I totally forgot to mention that. So we're just going to give them a moment to tally some things up.
Someone's new here. Oh, someone's
Oh, hey, Ashley! Hello. Everyone. Ashley, just say guys. Thanks for that.
You get.
I want that every time I walk into a room.
That was nice. There's an aisle. We'll give it to you again.
Oh no! Oh, it's okay. Does anyone have any initial thoughts while the judges are still doing their thing here? Team Alana, who else is here from your team?
Just me,
Ebony and Paul. How do you guys feel about your final edit?
Honestly, I can say I produced something to the finish, man.
Paul was actually the writer of this movie, so how do you feel with like the script and it going to screen now? How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's very cool that it happened.
You're like, I don't know if I like it, but it happened is amazing.
I think with the time and the resources we had, I'm glad with what we were able to do.
Nice, right. Considering like the challenges of being like, all right, shoot the story up. Wow, I love it. The judges are like really putting some thought in here. I love it. Yes. Yes.
We didn't have a coat. We didn't have a
You had water.
Oh, we were like bike rings and before.
So that's actually because me and my first AD Hannah, we know plastic color like the back of our hand. So we already knew about the note. Yeah, we already knew which hour to shoot and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just kind of worked out. Yeah.
No, that's great.
I'm gonna take your sheets with you now. Thank you. Nope, totally anonymous. Get hurt some feelings if you need to. I'm just kidding.
How's it gonna work? Are you
I'm
gonna
so sorry. My nerves is getting the best of me.
I'll show them to you someday, yeah. So they'll have it, so it's like, you know. I agree, concur.
Okay, what was it?
Oh, don't worry about it, I'll add it. I will add it for you, no, don't worry about it.
Cool. All right, let's get one more round of applause. So I guess I'll throw it to the judges, you know, kind of what stood out to you guys, what worked for the film, and what kind of took your eye, and then we can do some follow-up questions, and then I'll ask if anyone else had a question. I'll take one or two questions for the film writer or for anyone on the crew, something that jumped out for you guys. But what kind of initial thoughts do you guys have?
Yeah.
She was early. She was not necessarily, yeah, she was early.
Yeah, I thought that there were some really comedic bits that I really liked. I liked a lot of the direction of it. I think that especially I think that some of the performances that were pulled out were really nice. And I think that some of the cinematography and some of the editing was a little bit jarring and a little bit distracting. But I think all in all, you know, it made me laugh, so I had a good time.
Kept your attention, that's awesome. Cool, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna piggyback and say very similar things. Like, I really thought it, because the music's very serious. It's like, oh, what am I watching? And then it's like, the handshake is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I really thought that part worked, and then the callback to it, and then the hug at the end, but the hug is like very poignant, and you see he's dealing with a lot of stuff. So yeah, I thought the writing was good, I thought the directing was good. I thought, you know, cinematography is tough because you're relying on natural light, and it's really hard to match. And then you would need time to like color grade it, and you just don't have time for that. Like you know, you're making a project like this on a strict deadline. So I thought they did a good job, you know, within those parameters. And like when I was in film school, I had to shoot something like this too, where you had to like match all the lighting. It's just really tough as the day progresses. So
yeah, you don't have ACs that are kind of exactly trying to figure out the focus and what's
yeah,
going on.
yeah.
So
You're just
turning around is a whole different kind of
yes,
thing. You have to
yeah,
kind of
and
be on
then
eye.
the editing, you know, you can tell they were trying to like use the B-roll to kind of mask some edits and everything. But I thought they did a good job with that.
Good.
You know, using the park B-roll to kind of pump up the story.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I agree with everything both of them said. Definitely some touching moments, as well as definitely chuckled a few times. You know, the handshake and I haven't texted you in 7 years, right? That was a great line. I think the writing was probably the strongest part of it for sure.
Yeah.
Agree with everything about the cinematography and editing. A little distracting for me, but I also know how difficult that is to get done, especially in these time constraints. So I highly doubt I can do a better job. So kudos to people who did it. Yeah, I've never made a film on my own, like, as far as directing. So I know how hard it is, though, from a producing standpoint. So props to a good product. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Anyone have any questions for the writer or team that are here? Kind of went through it a little bit. Great. Okay, cool. Well, I think we'll oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah. What's your name?
Patrick.
Patrick, thanks, Patrick.
This might be came in late, so this might have already been stated, but what was the deadline that you guys were working on?
So sorry. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. There's no way for Dan to get me, but so most of the teams were going to shoot on a Saturday, and the deadline was like Sunday at 11:59. Some teams shot on Thursday or Friday. This team shot on a Friday, so they had Saturday and Sunday to edit. So, and plus they had a remote editor as well. So taking that into account, I know they had like a bit of a crisis with getting the files to the editor who was in Atlanta. But either way, like I felt that you guys dealt with that beautifully as far as I'm concerned. So not too many days to edit. I think if they had 1 more day to edit, 2 more days to edit, it would have been a lot more crisper. You know.
So it was like it was 9 days, right, from when
So
they.
it was 9 days, but I gave everyone an extra day to edit, so 10 days to get everything from
when they
writing
got
to
the
editing.
genre to when they had to post it to the genre.
That's impressive.
It's a lot of work, a lot of Zooms. I know, you know, from my team, so that's great.
All right, so we're gonna get into our next film. This is Ortiz.
Oh. Should have brought a note.
just brought up all this stuff without breaking my back or breaking a sweat because we now have a 1-floor walk-up instead of 5. To hell with the 5th floor walk-up.
And you know what else I haven't seen? Roaches.
Hey!
But honestly, your last place, it just wasn't right for you. You couldn't get a good night's sleep with that terrible neighbor upstairs. This place is nice, quiet. Besides, being in this relationship with you for a year and a half, I think this is the right step.
This does feel like the perfect apartment for us.
And it actually has a real bathtub. I got lavender rose bath salts.
Oh my god, I love that for me.
I love that for you too.
Well, to celebrate, I was thinking that maybe you could invite your mom out to dinner with us tonight. The place around the corner looks nice. I just think she'll warm up to me if she sees that we're actually doing this right. That I can support you as much as you support me.
I don't think she's ever gonna think that way. She's old school. She's the type to get mad for weeks. Look, I know that when I say I love you, she hears that I'm leaving her. It really won't help anyone in the family warm up to this because I know she'll just talk smack as soon as she finds out. She's ruthless. And it's just a lot of damage control I don't have in me.
I think you need to be honest with her and talk about it with the 3 of us. Wait, when she finds out what?
Preciosa, I didn't tell her that we're moving in together.
What? How are you gonna handle that? She's definitely going to think that I stole her son from her now. Why haven't you told her? Hey, we'll say. If she doesn't accept me now, she's never going to accept me. You'd be miserable as long as you're with anyone she doesn't like. And as much as I love you, I don't want to live that life. Truthfully, isn't that unfair to you too? I'm not here to force anything, but I want a relationship with your mom.
Hello, mi Joselito.
Hola, mami.
¿Qué pasó, mijo? Are you at work?
No, but I wanted to talk to you about Helena and I.
Ay, Dios. Dime, you are not getting married. Too hot, are you?
Well, we'll talk about that later, but for now, we're moving in together. Today.
You didn't think of telling me before you did that. You know how I feel about her. Yes, the muchacho del diablo.
Mami, ya.
But Jose.
Ma, no. You know I love you. But Helena and I are in a partnership. She's not my maid or my chef. Please respect the fact that she has an actual career in medicine, helping other people, and still shows up for me. You know what else she isn't, Mom? My mother. Okay? I'm not a child. Y Helena is not meant to do the things that you did. That's the whole point. But that also means that she'll never be you or replace you. So please, stop. Recognize her for who she is. And see that I'm a man. Capable of making some pretty amazing decisions. Ma, I love you, Ma. And you'll always be my mother, but this doesn't have to be this difficult. I originally called you to invite you to a 7:30 dinner at this place called Social, but you know what? Just forget it. I'll call you next week. Bendición.
appreciate you so much.
Well, you're worth fighting for. Mommy!
Elena, I'm looking forward to get to know you.
Let's go have some dinner.
Yes.
I wanna get you pearls and rings. You know that I want these things for us. But just one thing. Ooh, my mama's gotta like you. Ooh, my mama's gotta like you. Ooh, my mama's gotta like you. Ooh, my mama's gotta like you.
Yeah. Let it go.
So it's not fair for Rob to moderate his own team. So, Team Rob, how do you guys feel about seeing it? Experiences? How'd you... So, Natalie, this was your first time writing and directing, right?
Yes.
How do you feel about writing and directing the same thing?
I'm never doing it at the same time ever again. I cannot wait to get this writer hat off of me.
Why?
Why? Because it was, I actually couldn't see the film. I was just very focused on it not being, not up to my personal standard. And with the help of my team workshopping it, we really tightened it up because let me tell you, it was loose. It was very loose.
I know, I watched all of them.
So, yeah, and that was just difficult. So when we finally got the script locked, I could actually start seeing, and my personality switched. I was very self-conscious, and then I became confident. I'm like, this is where I live. Directing is where I live. Right. So that's how I felt. That was just very Jekyll and Hyde for me.
I feel like there are some people out there who are, I feel like Bryce might fit into this category where if he could direct and write only his things, I think that might be your strength. Right. So it's like you guys are on the opposite end of the spectrum where you're like, I'm not writing anything. You're like, I will write what I direct. That's, I feel like it's, because some people find that to be an advantage because you have complete creative control.
I will say that was the advantage, even though I like to collaborate and maybe sometimes argue with the writer, why not do this? That was the best thing about it. We were able to get through it quick.
Yeah. So with the teams, Team Rob have only 3 members from Beyond Film School. So, and then, so they held it together with only 3 team members. So shout out to them. But Team Rob, I think you guys had 5.
We had 5. Yeah.
5. I think Darren also had Team Darren had 5 or 6, I think. So they had the least amount of members, but I feel like that was a great advantage for you to be the writer-director. And then Bianca being, where's Bianca? Where's she
Right here.
Yeah. Being the producer and the AD. The combos, I think, were a strength.
Yeah. That was a great move. Having my producer and AD the same person. Oh,
you're welcome.
And the writer-director being the same person.
It's one less person you have to collaborate with, so that makes sense. Judges, how we doing? I feel like, oh, Rick's done. Of course Rick's done.
Well, no, it's a brief.
I remember turning back. I was
What'd you think?
I thought it was great. Audio.
It was a little down in the beginning, just turned up at the end. Or in the middle.
Yeah.
Could have been a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But it'll play higher.
You know what I didn't anticipate? The extra time after certain shots, I got a laugh. Yeah. I was like, thank God it was time.
That's a big thing, you don't think about that. Right?
Yeah.
Kind of giving that pause to laughter.
Also, like things that I wouldn't have laughed at, but other people did laugh at.
Yeah.
So,
Like the mommy or whoever was on
Yeah,
the phone.
yeah.
You just
Yeah,
don't, you
but-
don't know. I know. That's the surprise that you get
Yeah.
when you get to show it.
Thank you.
Alright, as you write down 10s to all those right there. Just a reminder.
He's not biased.
I turned it up to 11 just for you.
Oh. We got us Robs gotta stick together. Cool. So I'll throw it kind of to you guys to, what stood out. What did you like about the project?
I thought that it was really well done. I thought that it was funny in some places and then like really like moving when it was supposed to be. I enjoyed that a lot. I think the only place that I would give any notes is I think that maybe the final monologue that the guy did could come off a little bit preachy, and I think that there are certain ways, and I put that on the form, that that could be diverted a little bit.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it as well. At first I kind of liked her character more, so when we see him alone talking to his mom, I got a little like, oh, but I like her. But, I like that, that's a moment a lot of people have to go through with their parents, and I found it very relatable. And I thought the twist with the mom was nice at the end, you're like, all right, she comes around, so I like the writing, I'll be honest, I like very straightforward, simple coverage in an instance like this, where you're just trying to get the material to make the story.
Yeah.
So I like that. I will say cinematography, there was one room where it was like, the light was kind of like interior lighting and then it went daylight balance, so that was a little jarring,
Yeah.
but overall I like the coverage. And then the editing, there was just like one jump cut where the camera was on, it was like shot reverse shot here,
Yeah.
and it was on the other side.
Kind of jumped the line.
Yeah, it jumped the line once, but then it goes back.
I knew he'd bring it up, I knew it.
Yeah,
It kind of worked for it. I don't think the average person would kind of
No,
notice,
no.
and I don't think it took away from the dialogue. So I think it was,
Yeah, I would just say like I had to learn it the tough way, because like I did that, I remember on a project where I jumped the line because it was a cool shot,
Yeah.
and then you get to the edit and you're like,
and
the only performance I got that I like is
and I didn't
wrong side
notice
of
it,
the line,
and I was
so
with
yeah.
there the whole time. So I
but
take
it's
full
like
credit as well.
it's a learning process. So
And that's exactly what it was.
But yeah, I liked it.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, also dug it.
Yes.
Definitely relatable, like Rick said. I thought the writing was pretty solid. Cinematography, it didn't really stand out to me positively or negatively, which I thought was a good thing. It didn't distract at all. Similar with the editing. I would have said one thing about the editing was I felt it was solid except for the phone call. I thought there were too many cuts and edits and different angles. I felt that if you had just kind of stayed on a one or maybe moved around them a little bit for that, it would have been a little more emotionally powerful. And I agree with what Amber said about, actually no, I don't think you did say this. I thought the ending was a little rushed, that final scene. I would have liked to have stayed in that emotional surprise with the mom appearing a little bit longer.
We definitely tried a bunch of different takes and setups, and I feel like we were kind of rushed because we were kind of in the middle of this restaurant that was outside, so we were kind of like dodging them a little bit without them knowing, and we had an awesome shot with the lights that Zach kind of did, and it was so tough. The sidewalk was so short. That reveal was tough to do, but what we have in there I thought works.
No, yeah, I agree.
And it definitely reveals the mom and.
I wasn't even asking for a lot, just like another 5 or 10 seconds, maybe another line or two. But other than that, yeah, very solid film. I enjoyed it. I would see something again from that filmmaker.
Cool. Well, she will have many more things to come on that there. But cool. Anyone else? Any questions for our filmmakers?
How did you guys get an empty apartment?
I had that thought as well.
So Rob is in transition of moving. So that was actually my old apartment in Cobble Hill. So I ended up moving a couple of days later. So I took advantage of having that empty apartment.
Sorry, did that play into the script though? Did you like use that because you had an empty space?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was talked about in the beginning. We had a couple of great locations that were kind of pitched to us, and the majority of them were actually a little farther away. So we were like, do we go upstate? We
Not a little farther,
make
like 3 hours drive.
Pennsylvania, upstate New York. That's what was on the ticket.
We decided to kind of write for, so our category was romance.
Yes.
And then we had to do the handshake, the establishing, and the conflict. But we decided that it was best off to use an interior location because of the rain. And I know a couple teams were dodging the rain, but we got lucky and we're outside, just for the first and the last scene and got some good weather.
So everybody had a genre as well.
Yeah, everyone had a genre, so it was romance. There was 3 others. So
this one was romance. The one before that was drama.
right.
Our next one, Zug's Wang, is going to be supernatural thriller, which I was going to say the hardest genre. So, and the judges may have not seen this, but like when I did the challenge lawns, I had like a spinning wheel, and what everyone did in their application, it was they submitted a genre they wanted to make. So I put those in the wheel, and then whatever came up, that's what was randomly picked for everybody. So they were the one team that got the hardest genre.
And then the last film that we'll see was a silent film.
Yeah.
So it definitely brings a whole another kind of aspects into it. So cool.
All right, let's get ready for our next film.
Thank you guys.
To know you, she had newspaper article clippings regarding her sister's death, as well as pictures of yourself on her wall. She seemed to be keeping tabs on you.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. Just be careful, Mr. Fisher. And I'll follow up with you later if I hear anything.
Thank you for your time, Detective.
Sure. Maybe I'll get a better chess match with you someday. Hey, Sarge. I'm gonna hang around for a bit. I got eyes on Fisher. Yeah, just one plainclothes officer should be fine. Copy.
Professor. Tell them how you discarded me like trash. Tell them.
You're not real?
Tell them. Tell them. Tell them. Tell them. Tell them what you need. Watch where you're going, asshole.
Yeah, I got a 10-10 in progress. Approaching the suspect right now.
Tell them what you did to me, Professor.
What? Shut up! Shut up!
Tell them.
Tell them.
Tell them.
Tell them.
Tell them.
Got it.
Tell them.
Calm down.
Tell them.
You did this to me, Melinda! You did this! I had to cleanse myself! You filthy whore! I'm glad I did it! I'm glad I killed you, Melinda! And I'm glad I killed Daisy! I'm glad I killed the two of you! I don't regret it, you fucking whore! God damn you both!
Call for backup. I just got a confession of a murder.
Don't you see them right there? They're watching me! Tormenting me! They're right there!
Oh, is that right?
Projector difficulties. Oh, there we go.
I was like, what's happening? All right, Bryce, how you feel? So, you didn't have to be in your movie.
Oh man.
The thing is that his actor like just dropped out. Like two of the people that you had.
Yeah, first actor got sick. I don't know, he said his throat was closing. Second actor just couldn't do it. And like, yeah, I act, and they didn't want me to originally do it because it was just like a lot. And at that point, we were going through a lot, and it was just like, I was like, I'm gonna do it, I don't care, I'll lose sleep. Like, we're just gonna do our best and, you know, try to send it home. And I'm pretty happy.
He also edited the film too, so there's that. So he did a whole lot in this movie. Their writer Kit is actually, she should be watching. Hey Kit, what's going on, Kit? Hey, everyone say hi to Kit. She was the remote writer. She's in LA right now, but she wrote for his team. Who else is from? Divya, how do you feel seeing it? She was our DP for that short. You're like, oh god.
Yeah, I feel. Honestly, I don't know, but I feel. I feel good, you know. Like it was like a real journey, you know. Like you saw us, we had to cut so many setups, but it was cool. I think, you know, with Aton's help, we were still able to do some of the old setups.
Yeah.
Make our day, you know, the journey through post. Like I was like on call with Bryce.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Oh, I think because Vanessa and I think Bryce told me that they had 39 setups. All right, you guys are like, what? So Aton wasn't available for their last meeting, so I'm like on this FaceTime call. I was like, get your setups down to like 20, like right now, or you're gonna fail. Like you have to do it. So they got it down, but then on the day they were able to add some things, which is like I'd rather you start small and build up, not big and you can't achieve it. So I was like, I was like really nervous for them. I was like, 39 setups, like Bryce, we're trying to do, kill us.
I mean, you know, we did great.
You did,
I mean,
yeah.
we
And
didn't have,
you also battled the rain on the day. So
yeah, so there was rain caused about an hour's worth of delay. we were able to add a scene that we originally were gonna cut out because Amber was telling us we gotta cut out, which was with Vanessa. Tell them what you need.
Shout out to Vanessa for her cameo, producer lady.
Shout out. I'm not gonna lie, every time that scene came up, I was like, so, which was crazy because like originally we had an actress for that scene, but we had to cut, so we were like, okay, we can add it now, so Vanessa filled in. And then for the original scare, me and Divya, we did 2 different scenes, so we even had enough time to like film 2 different scenes for one scene, you know what I mean? So it was like, I still have a bunch of those shots left, so yeah, we had a lot more than we thought, you know, and I think that came down to the actors and the team. Like everybody came with their A game, and it was easy, you know, for them to come with their A game, and everybody was driven. Like, thank God, because let me tell you, there was some challenges in post that, you know, it was like, it was hard, but I love it because there's so many things that I've learned, and like talking to every team member afterwards, we all like said the same thing without even talking. We're like, I just love the challenge of it because I actually learned so much.
Yeah.
Learned.
All right, good night, guys. That's my job. So we're good?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, thank you.
One take terror, guys.
One take terror, yeah.
Actors,
Wow,
like,
actors
that's
are
on
here
the
for
first
other-
take. One take terror, guys. All right.
That was really good. One more round of applause. That was really well done. I liked all the cuts. I think that was definitely something that was really eye-popping to me. But what do you guys think?
For the constraints especially, it's like crazy
And the
to pull
genre.
that off. I think that was like, I think that that's really impressive.
Yeah.
I think the, my main note for, I think the performances and the writing is that especially in a genre where it's like a thriller, that suspense is really key. So holding back would have, I think, really like pushed the film forward. That was my main note. But I thought that it was so impressive for the constraints that you guys had, especially. Oh, and the cinematography was crazy, especially like the first shots and especially the inside shots.
I love that first shot with like the frisbee gone.
Yeah.
Was that? Did you guys?
That's Divya.
That was Divya with the frisbee.
Yeah.
You knew that person, or that was someone that you?
I was stalking them a little bit. They were there for a while, so I set my tripod like really far back.
So cool.
Yeah.
I love that they were throwing and catching to no one too. I was like,
Yeah, you
so
didn't see
perfect.
that person. That's pretty cool.
No, I mean I liked it. I thought it was really well done with the genre, and I liked like the jump cuts. Jump cuts is very tricky, you know. When to use them, how many, the pacing of them. It's just like a really tough balance, and I thought it works really well, especially with the genre. And I really liked the women and that whole sequence with the guy on the street, and just the use of close-ups there. Obviously the sound mix is like a little rough in parts, but like, you know, you're gonna deal with those kind of issues. And then to find out there was like rain challenge, that's really tough. Cause I was just on a feature last week where it was like raining almost every day on Long Island. And it's just like, you know, it's a real world thing, and you often aren't just afforded the opportunity to go to cover or do, you know what I mean? You have to just make it work. So that was really impressive. And the only thing I would say, my big note is the professor's gotta have the costume of a professor, especially because your outfit, like you look like a detective. Even though you don't have like the prop badge and all that stuff, you're still giving off like a detective energy. And even though that's like a costume thing, if he was just like in like a button down, tucked in or something very simple, but it would help sell him as the professor, because the performance is good. So it's just like moving forward, little details like that when you can, it'll go a long way to selling the reality.
Was it a conscious decision to have him playing with the phone in the beginning? Because I know that he made the call at the end, like the professor, but it was almost just a little bit distracting to me when he was like playing with it in the beginning. But
Yeah,
is that what, just to show that he had the phone?
No, it was in the script. Get rid of that way. I think like her intentions were like, we wanted him to like look like he was cool, but he was starting to lose his cool. And the reason I did, I mean, I was between that, like making him look like a professor. You know, you got like that random like jacket and some pants, but I was like, I kind of wanted to be disheveled because he did have to recently just kill his sister because she was snooping around. So I kind of wanted that. I was like, that's the only way it's gonna make sense because you can't have a guy that's composed and then 5 minutes later he's losing his shit. I kind of wanted, like, he's already kind of losing it. So I told the actor, keep your beard looking disheveled. I want your hair to look a little weird, like. That's why, so it kind of was like that way, but I do know what you mean, like, and I felt like it had it been like a longer thing, then we could have played with that, but it was the timing, you know, knowing that you had to keep it under 7 minutes, it was like, how can I make this as believable with the genre, and, man, supernatural thriller, listen,
I think Tabitha was the one who put on her application, right? Tabitha? So we can thank Tabitha for that.
What you think, Tabitha?
Great job.
Right? That was the idea. Good. Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback. I mean, same thing I've said previous few times. I agree with what both.
We're gonna start with Rob next time.
I feel like Amber and I both have the difficult jobs. Rick didn't need No, but agree with what both they said. To Amber's point, yeah, I mean, show don't tell. You know, I think the suspense could have been built a little bit better with less, I guess, telling us what was happening. But I thought I was pretty into it. You know, I mean. Supernatural thrillers I've never personally worked on myself. Those are pretty hard to make. I thought the editing was maybe the strongest part of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good job with those jumps back and forth, showing the reality and showing the fantasy. But anything else? Yeah, a couple of nice comedic moments to occasionally, you know, take us away from all that.
You got shot in the
thrilling,
subway?
but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's challenging.
You can, you can do it without, as long as you don't have it on a tripod,
Yeah.
and nobody's screaming.
Exactly.
You're not on the track,
yeah,
so.
been
Yeah.
there.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a good point though. Kudos for incorporating the subway because I know how difficult that could be to work
Yeah.
with those elements.
And a lot of stairs, which was good. I think was that kind of built the suspense for me a little bit. So very cool. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Overall,
Any other
solid
questions
job.
for the filmmakers?
How were you able to get that shot of the actress in the like she's in the doorway?
That was great. That was smoke and mirrors. Thanks to Atan. Atan, shout out if you're watching. There was a Diddy and Atan. They were playing around with that idea because originally we were like, we wanted her to get on the train, and then it was like that's gonna take a lot. She's gonna go 1 stop. They have to go back 2 stops. They have to be. I was like, so Atan's just like, how many seconds is this time? And Tara was counting. She was like, we got 10 seconds. So it's like, okay. Sometimes it's a little longer. So we had her sneak underneath like the frame. And just like it'd be empty, and then pop her up, and then I have to clip it in, like it's like she's seeing this thing. But then it was kind of funny because I'm like watching all the different takes, and she keeps having to run out before she gets stuck on the train.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
Like in Speed.
Yeah. I probably could make a pretty
trick the camera with
yeah.
Speed.
Yeah, man. I can do pretty plus a blooper reel what we got. Regardless of being a thriller, it was so we had fun. Creative.
That's awesome. Cool. Well done. Well done.
We're getting ready for Team Darren, the Fox. Team Darren, man. Woo! Sorry. I remember when I watched all the films one time through, and I was like, I was crying. I was like, oh, was not expecting this to be so emotional, but you guys really did a really great job. I was like, whew. But I will say, if that were not a silent film, I don't know what you guys would have done with that. You know what I mean? Like, so that was the advantage they had, the silent film, which might be next year's film challenge theme. I'm just saying. How do you feel, Tabitha, seeing it on screen?
So much emotion. Everyone did an amazing job. Like I commend all of the teams because they had so many more challenges than we did. Like honestly, it felt like, I remember I told you it was like a bunch of friends making a movie because everything went so smooth. Like even the challenges that we had, we worked together to like work it out really quick. And Rebecca, the writer who's watching, she and I like synced. Our brains creatively she came with a bunch of like log lines, and I was like, I love this one and this one, let's just combine them, and she came together with like an amazing script.
Great job, great job. James, how do you feel? He edited and shot it.
I feel a little like here and there. There's a couple of spots that like where I edited that I'm sure nobody else notices, but me and Tabitha noticed because we sat in a coffee shop we sat still in a coffee shop, not moving for hours, like hours on end.
I like the BTS photo you shared in the community group. He was like stressing. He like literally looked like this. I was like, wow, he's stressing out.
I was just hoping my computer didn't crash the whole time.
Yeah. That was a whole other issue. I learned a lot too running this challenge as far as like file size, what you guys should shoot in, making sure it's compressed right, which is, I'm really glad this is the beta test for like the next years, like what you should shoot in, what you should compress in, and like what like files should be transferred, and like, you know what I mean? So, great job everybody. How are you doing, judges? Take your things, are we done? All right, let's get into some of this feedback. Wait, Rob. Rob should go first. Rob should go first.
Original thoughts from Rob, so Rob doesn't have to copy all those guys now.
I have so little to say. No, I really enjoyed this one. Granted, yeah, like Amber pointed out, because it's a silent film, we'll never know about how sound could have played into it, because the other three films, sound is an enormous difficulty to employ into your film. I know firsthand. I mean, the famous expression, most of us have heard it, you can forgive bad visuals, but you can't forgive bad sound. So they didn't have to worry about this. To that point, the sound in the film, the song, incredible. Was that an original song, or?
No, I spent hours like the whole night trying to find the right song, and when I heard that, I was like, this is it.
I didn't catch the credits. Who was that?
I think it was the artist is Yeheskel Raz.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check
He's an
that out.
Israeli
Look it up.
composer.
Yeah, gorgeous song. I mean, could have been a music video to the song. I mean, I thought the overall entire movie was beautiful, and the song just, obviously was a huge part of that. Loved the Donnie Darko reminiscent, menacing, punching the show. A lot of a cool emotional journey. The whole thing took me on. Well, the editing was flawless. Cinematography, gorgeous. That opening shot, which also was the closing shot, probably my favorite shot of the whole night. The New York City skyline, perfectly lined up. Not a whole lot much more to say. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like a sucker for stuff like this, you know what I mean? Like, if I could, I would just make art films, but sadly I have to pay bills. But I really liked it. I thought the performances were good. I really liked the black and white cinematography. I thought the TV lighting gag looked good. That's always really delicate, when you're trying to dial that in.
Yeah.
We even see it on the majors level. It's like same with fire.
Yeah.
It just doesn't always look right, and I thought that was done nice.
Yeah.
I thought the production design was really good in this film. Like the stuff behind him, all those little details that are often overlooked in this. I thought that that those were handled really well, and I thought the editing was the only real edit decision I didn't necessarily like was the jump cuts on the couch between the two guys. I wonder if if there was a way to cut to coverage between them, so we could have got something like this kind of coverage like that between them. But even then, it's not bad. It doesn't distract you. It doesn't take you out of it. And then just really great ending. Really great ending. Very emotional. And the only thing I would say is it's tough because again, it's a silent film, so I do think you do kind of have to grade it a little, whereas writing dialogue is just really fucking hard. I went to school for it. It is so hard. I have such a respect for it. But either way, just great short film.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought that, funny enough, that the writing was one of the stronger parts of this silent film. I love a good visualized metaphor, and the fox I thought was just that. What a weird metaphor for grieving. I thought that it was really well done, and also I thought that beginning, middle, end really hit the emotional points that it was supposed to hit. And the dialogue that was there, that wasn't spoken, but we were still seeing was really well done and really well timed, I felt. So crazy that I really was fucking with the writing on this silent film, but I thought that it was dope. The cinematography was really well done, really well done, I thought. And I just really enjoyed it. I do think that the music was a huge part of what made it so powerful, but I think that there was a lot else that went into it. The scene with the jump cuts, I actually really fucked with that, but it was one of the only places where I thought there were a couple of spots where I think that the editing could have been a little bit quicker, that we could have lingered on some moments a little bit less, and it would have added instead of taken away from the film. But yeah, I thought it was really well done.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. It was really well done, and the music just kind of kept me involved and kept my attention the whole time. What's going to happen next? So, any questions for the filmmakers? Sure.
What camera did you use?
The FX6.
Nice. Cool. Yeah.
There was posters or artwork on behind the couch, and there was a light that was shining from the bottom up, and it looked like fox shadows for all of them. Was that planned or?
So funny story. I was looking at the monitor and they were working on the light, and I said, "Can we bump up the light a little bit?" Because I wanted to bring more attention to the shadow. And then when they bumped it up, you could see that it looked like fox ears. Was completely unintentional. It was like a happy accident.
I love that.
I didn't even see that. That's cool.
I also love how at the end it's sort of he's always there, and then once he comes to this sort of peace moment, the light is gone and then the shadows are gone. So it's an added layer of symbolizing his peace with everything, with losing his friend.
Also the light, me and Jamie noticed that. It wasn't intentional. It was just, it happened right at the most perfect moment. And then I was like, and we had a whole conversation, and I was like, oh my God, that's so symbolic. Like, it definitely added that layer for whoever's like paying attention to those little details. I'm glad you picked
That was for me.
That's awesome. Cool. Great. Well, one more time for the Fox.
So I need a few minutes to still tally these things. So
Okay.
feel free to use the bathroom, get some water, take a breath.
And then where are some of us going afterwards? What's the name of the bar again?
Dailies?
Dailies?
Pub.
Okay, a couple of blocks away, Dailies, if anyone wants to come by.
It's like 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away.
Yeah, but alright, we'll be with you guys in a little bit.
Okay.
Where did you get to?
I realized the doors closed behind me. I go to canal.
Oh my God.
Then it just went sideways.
This is the first time I'm seeing Eileen. I don't like it. What's this? Who's waving at me right now?
Yeah, no, right.
I know. I was thinking about you earlier. I was
Are you gonna talk to the bar
Are you going to be able to do we're going to go there. Are you able to do Maddie Craft?
Come on up here.
Good point.
I know that thank you for
We're not take photo.
Yes.
Yeah, I probably
It's the first thing that just
I don't want to tell people he's doing it because it's enough.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And you wait here.
Good job.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed that one. Nice to see you again.
Thank you, you
The lighting hour, we're writing 48 hours.
No, it's my first time. Yeah, I know he's her how the lighting is Yeah, I'm not Rick Ross. I didn't either. And when I told him my name, only his second in command thought it was cool. He was literally like, he was at a book site, he was sitting like this and Barnes and Noble. Good night, relax. I was like, I think I'm gonna go with it. I like music. I just part of like slip and slide and all that. Yeah, so this is exactly. I was like trying to slip, and then you gotta remember that you so you know, like if I'm at a freeway cross, you might care. Yeah.
She was like trying to get
That's what I was hoping for. Yeah, true. Rick Ross too. I had like some help. Yeah. When they're not looking at his age and he's 42 and that's how I was 37 and I was like, oh my God, like if I'm not careful.
I know.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
That was the third. Ebony's the first, I was the second, they're the third, and I was last.
Oh, okay, great. That's a missed opportunity. Never mind.
I don't even know. Rob's gotta look here.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I'm an actor.
Great, because we went from that. We were tired. So massive, and then so I didn't have time really. Yeah, that's
Two.
The very last one. Yeah, it's tough out there. Thank you.
She literally like waved at me, and I'm like, "Oh, you're not
Yeah, I think the evenings are taking it personally.
No, I was just curious because I don't think she had like I don't think we tweaked the credits to credit Matt and
Here's the whole thing about
You forgot to add it to our poster too.
a lot of work.
It was a lot.
I literally just answered. What are you talking about? Hey, Bryce. Stand in front of the camera.
there were more problems in the editing than I realized.
Okay, are we good? Are we framed well?
But I was shipping. Is it on?
Is that Vanessa?
Yeah. She wants to take a screenshot of the live stream. It's Rob. Do you hear it?
What's up, Vanessa? I like your acting debut. Your acting debut got lots of laughs. Can we see it? So good, so good. Yeah. Congratulations, so good.
Okay, let us know what you want us to do. Okay, everybody smile and look at
What? I wasn't gonna do it for you. I was gonna do it now. No, it's time to sit down for the work. You guys haven't seen what's on this work.
Alright, you gotta get your phones ready. Oh, you're get on here.
Feeling like if I had a class, I would
That was
Whew. Okay, so closing out our screening is going to be our lovely awards, and I just want to give a big thank you to the judges for their points and their scoring and their comments and constructive feedbacks, because you guys would get these awards if it wasn't for these guys. So thank you, judges, for being here. Alright, so we obviously have best film, we have best editing, best screenplay, or best writing. We also have best assistant director because I'm an AD, and that's like my lifeblood. I love being an AD, okay? And ADs get no love whatsoever when the award season comes around, whatsoever.
Bring it back to the Oscars.
Right? So I definitely had to add best assistant director, and I also have best editing and best cinematography. So I definitely am going to start with best assistant director. Now, the best AD had different criteria because I went to every set, I watched every AD style, I looked at their call sheet, I looked at about how they talked to people, how they communicated, if they did a one-liner, how many typos were on their call sheet. So they had to do a lot. They had to submit their crew call, the first shot, their lunch time, if they were late to lunch, if they when they wrapped. So there was a lot of things they had to submit to win this award. So, best assistant director is going to go to Beneath the Surface, Hannah Williams. I feel like it was so hard picking the best AD because all four of them had very different experiences. Like Wesley, okay, I almost gave it to you, man, I almost did, because here's the thing. Wesley ran a set and he's never been on a film set ever. Wow. He took my training, he was like, oh, I want to be a director. He tried to be a director, I was like, there's no way I'm making him a director yet. Still time for that, but the fact that he stepped up into that role, and I was like, I ran the first shot with him, and I was like, just try mirror what I do, and I was with him, and he almost got it, but Hannah was real smooth. She was real smooth, she communicated really well, had a great attitude, even though in the AD's brain, we're freaking out. We're freaking out when we're running a set, but she was very calm, she was very, she was bouncing around, she was just doing it all. So Hannah, really, really great job. So Ebony will accept this award on Hannah's. Okay. All right, so, gosh, what order should I go in here? Jeez Louise. Okay, so, best writing is going to Mrs. Ortiz. Woo! Now, and this was also so close. It was a 1 point difference between the first and the second. So look at I want to know who came in second place first of all. All right, so best direction goes to The Fox. Even though, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of Jeff. I remember when she was her classmate, I think I got it. Good. So, I'm sure you guys want to know who came in second place. Mrs. Ortiz came in second place by 1 point. Just by 1 point. You guys almost
that was awesome. That was amazing.
All right, best cinematography goes to The Fox. Exceed expectations. I don't know why. You're magical. Great job. Okay. All right. Well, you guys want to stay up because best editing went to The Fox.
No, no.
Oh, no.
There you go. Better, good.
Alright, so best film, I'm sure you guys all know best film is gonna be The Fox. Traditionally producers get this. So, and then you guys who are on the team, how many were you? So like, you guys all get one of these who was on your team. So Tabitha, who else was on Team Darren? Wesley. Gosh, who else is here?
Amber, wanna go over there?
Brianna. Oh yeah.
Nice.
I just want to say big thank you to everyone being here and participating. I honestly did not think that it would turn out this well. I'm not trying to brag like, oh my god. But you guys did such a great job. You collaborated, you brought people in. I know in the beginning it was, oh my god, how are we gonna do this? And you guys start pulling everything in, all your resources in the team, and had multiple meetings. Like Rob was on a meeting like every day with his team. I don't know. Like, and all the other teams, I was kind of like in the dark a little bit, so I was a little worried about Team Alana. I think you guys were. I was like, I don't know what's happening with their team. I'm like, I know Alana's got it, but also I kind of want to be nosy at the same time. So definitely gonna do this next year. Hopefully it's a little bit bigger. So thank you. And obviously, like, you're not gonna get the same position next year if you apply. So I'm just kind of like, you know, make sure you know that. So thank you so much, guys.
And I will such an exciting process to see everyone kind of from start to finish, and I think we only can grow, you know, this brand and this film festival to many more years.
Oh, so teams, I have the shirts here. Please grab your shirts. Grab enough for your teams, guys.
Swag is important.
Swag is important. Okay, I love this shirt. I'm just saying. I love this so much. I don't know. He's got 2 awards, so we can make it. So these are yours.
That's all you, Natalie.
That's all you. And we're definitely gonna go to our down. Okay, so we got it.
But there.
Yeah, because So, just one more note, we're definitely going to be at the bar, Dolly's Pub, if anyone wants to grab a drink with us and, you know, mesh a little bit. Also, the short films are going to be on my channel, so if you missed it in the live stream will definitely be replayed, and all the links, the short films are going to be on my channel. Woo!
Yeah.